Welcome to Author's Tales, where we go beyond the words and into the heart of the storyteller.
Every book holds a story, but beyond the pages lies something even greater: the journey. The long nights, the countless rewrites, the moment when doubt whispers and passion shouts back louder. This is where authors share their truth, the struggles, the breakthroughs, and the moments that made them believe in their story.
If you love a great story or dream of writing your own, you're in the right place.
Because every book has a voice, every author has a tale, and the best stories, they don't just get told, they get lived.
This is Author's Tales, where stories come to life. Andy, good morning. Welcome to Author's Tales. How are you this morning?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me. We're doing fantabulously well.
Oh, I love that. I love that. One of the things that in that intro it talked about the voices. Every book has a voice, but I love Voices Against Trafficking because it's not just a book. It's a movement. It's the presence of what we sometimes don't want to talk about. So we're here to talk about it.
Absolutely. It needs to be talked about. That's why the book became a book.
That's right. That's right. Your story is so incredible. I want to take this in any direction that you want the audience to learn about you. You and I did a show together, and we talked a little bit about what you've endured and how you shine today, because I see that brilliance in you. Let's get into your book.
Okay.
When we think about everything that you've gone through, you decided to put this so we can read it, so we can read this incredible book, your incredible journey, and the Voices Against Trafficking. Let's hear it, young lady.
Well, for those who haven't heard my story, I'll give you the elevator part of it, because that's what led to the books that we have out there, and especially this one. So I was actually sex trafficked by family members, all immediate and some extended as a child in the early 60s. And that was from the ages of 6 months until 17 years old, which was the last time my birth mother tried to kill me. But before that, the one voice that actually made my life worth living showed up when I was 5. That was my first attempt at suicide, because things were so horrific. And as I sat on that curb waiting to jump in front of a car, this voice inside of me said, "This is not the plan I have for you, and suicide is not the answer." And I was surprised that anyone even knew I existed, let alone why I was on the curb that day. See through. Right. So in my life, that was God's voice. And from that voice, even though things were still horrific through my entire childhood and teen years, once I was out, I knew that at some point in my life, I wanted to help others, help children especially, who came from abuse or domestic violence and, trafficking, whatever it was. They didn't even have a word in the 60s for what happened. So fast forward to college, law school, and then eventually being able to start a shelter that actually rescued at-risk homeless teens. And then my first book, second book, and now this one, which I'm so proud of. I'm proud of all of them, but this one in particular has such a power punch on the topic. And I felt like courage is contagious. If we all become voices of courage, then the next person will kind of catch it. The next person, just like you and me, wherever we go, and we talk about this subject, which is a tough subject, but that's why I speak, because I am the representation of what can happen when we intercede in someone's life who's been victimized, and allow God to heal us and move forward to do great things for other people.
Well, I got to tell you, when not only did I read it, but you've spoken about it. At 5 years old, kids don't even know what suicide is. They just don't want the nonsense to continue. And for a 5-year-old to consider jumping in front of a car, that's horrific. It only goes to show the type of cruelty you were facing at that time.
Mhm. It was really desperate, and I just thought if I was dead, they couldn't touch me, hurt me, beat me, do anything else to me. And yet, God's voice said, I do have a plan for you. This
Mm.
wasn't what he planned for me, but human beings have free will. That's a gift. And we can do good, we can do evil, or we can do nothing. And in my opinion, doing nothing is as bad as doing the actual act.
Absolutely. So, anybody listening right now, you see the image, Voices Against Trafficking. Um, and when you think about voices, I love the fact that you were searching for the right voices to help and
Mhm.
guide you. That first voice, I mean, you've always had your internal conversation. So, the first voice that we truly do hear is our own, and maybe even our parents'
Mhm.
voices first, even when we're not in the belly. But a voice that spoke to you, in you and outside of you,
Yes.
God. That's so
And
incredible.
yeah, and the fact that, people say, "Oh, God doesn't talk to kids." That's so wrong because he
Mm,
does. I think that's when we're truly most innocent, even despite the devastation a lot of children
right.
go through. And so, Voices Against Trafficking is our collective effort. It's a movement that we started in 2019 on Capitol Hill in the US, even though we're
Mm,
worldwide. And we just wanted to bring information, bring inspiration, bring ideas, bring ways that people can be that voice wherever they are, no matter what their circumstances. It's not always about money. It's not always about, having to be a speaker like you or me or anyone else would be. It's
right.
simply open your mouth, open your heart, and speak on behalf of what's right. Because in our movement, Sifu, it's right versus wrong, not right versus left. It has nothing to do with race, religion, social economic status. It's simply about the human being that has a
Mhm.
heartbeat and a life.
Absolutely. And what you just said is so important because it doesn't matter what neighborhood. It could be a poor neighborhood, it could be a rich neighborhood, it could be middle class. And it's not just in the US, even though we're both in the US, it's worldwide. This
Oh,
happens
yes.
so much in so many different countries. And what bothers me the most is that some Americans have been known to go to third world countries because they can get access to young kids.
Absolutely. I had one of our colleagues was in a part of Africa, and there was a little church, and a gentleman had said, "Hey, we have a camp for kids, and we'd love to take your kids to this camp, and they don't have to worry about money. Just provide a
Mhm.
driver." And so they loaded up the kids and the driver, and they went to where this camp was supposed to be. And basically, they took all of the kids and killed the driver for his organs.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So it does happen, and people say, well, that could never happen here, but it happens every single day in every single neighborhood, whether we want to see it or not, because how many people really know
Mm.
who's living in that on that street? Do you know their kids well enough to know what they're into? It would be impossible for any of us to know everything. But
Right.
by diligence and awareness, by reading things. The chapters in this book span a lot of different perspectives. So whether somebody reads one chapter today and a chapter tomorrow or whatever they want to do, they're going to get either an aha moment or they're going to get
Mm.
something really solid that says, wow, I didn't know that. Or, wow, here in the US, we were involved in labor trafficking. Really? Wow. So there are a lot of,
Mhm.
there's a chapter on modeling, to model or not to model, the real
Mhm.
about what you have to think about if you're thinking about that industry. And so we wanted to put together this collection of voices so that people really could get the information in a positive way for a tough subject, but the truth and the hope. And that's what that cover expresses, is the truth of the darkness, but the hope of the life, when we all come together and just use our voice like one drop at a time on that little life plant that's coming out of the cracks, just like my life.
Mhm.
You know, I grew, I had life. It was dark, but a little bit of sun and a tiny bit of water, and look what God did, right?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. When we think about human trafficking, a lot of people think, oh, it's the little kids only.
Yeah.
But it could be young ladies even in their 20s,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
they're promised a modeling career, or this and that, and they get on a yacht, and all of a sudden we have to confiscate your visas, or they take their visas, and all of a sudden they're trapped. Um,
Absolutely. Oh, and the most dangerous place right now for a young woman, 18 to 24 years old, is a college campus.
mm,
So, a lot of kids that maybe didn't were more sheltered, and then the kids that had a wild life before they got to college, it doesn't matter because the parties or the invitations,
right.
the opportunities for being recruited by even another college student who's being paid to spot potential
Mm,
product
mhm,
is huge. And I try to counsel young people all the time about, if you're going to go to a party, it's not that you can't have a drink if you're legal, but you have to watch your drink.
mm,
Make sure you drink something out of a can that you open. Okay. Don't leave it on a table at the frat house, and, don't trust somebody else to watch you, because that's not the way it works anymore. And the buddy system and the code system. So we're also about education, very big on education for prevention, because prevention really is the only way to put a dent in the human trafficking statistics that we have. And remember that the statistics are only based on what's reported. Most people will not report that because of shame, guilt,
mm.
humiliation. They don't want anyone at work to find out or at church to find out. Uh, so it's a very complicated issue.
It sure is. I'm going to encourage everyone to take out your phone, scan this image right here. It's a QR code, and what you want to do with it is pick up your copy. Pick up your copy. Before I said to Andy, I said, Andy, we have 6 minutes before we go live. I said, there's so much that can be done in 6 minutes. For example, you can pick up the book, and in 6 minutes, you can get into it, right?
That's right.
Well, what if you picked up the book and you said, I have no time, but every day you took 6 minutes
Mhm.
to understand and to listen, and to actually be a person who says, I'm not going to stand by anymore. I'm not going to close my eyes. I'm going to look out for my neighbors. I'm going to look out for my community. If I see a kid, I'm going to talk to them. If I see a young person, I'm going to talk to them, so we can be more active as a human being, right? Because I think that is going to help so many people to understand that it's not about them, it's
Right.
about us, right?
Exactly. And even if someone's like, well, I don't know, human trafficking, this book still can inspire them to be a voice of courage for whatever the cause is that they believe in, or whatever they're passionate about. There's inspiration for people that are facing adversity right now. People, as I call them, walking wounded, who've never
Mm,
gotten to express the pain from childhood or an event in their life. I had a friend, and she was violated by an uncle at age of 10, and has never married, never had children,
mm.
never done anything, because that
Wow.
trauma lives with her, and she's 60 years old now.
Oh my.
So she never really got to engage in that part of life that she once thought, and as a teacher, she works with children all the time. So it's really one of those things where our voices, if we can reach you, reach someone, please get the book, and know this, that the books, the sale of the books all go back to Voices Against Trafficking's work. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we have no paid staff. We are all volunteers. So everything that you do right now today
Mm,
is going to actually go to a survivor, a victim, or one of the programs, one of the things that we are using to go find the other victims.
mm. The trauma, it's real. It
Absolutely.
it's so real, and it doesn't. One of the things that you talked about, the Voices Against Trafficking, you talked about your own mom, how
Mhm.
she trafficked you, and when she finally died, what was that feeling like for you?
Well, as harsh as it sounds, it was awesome when I got that call. Like finally, 'cause she lived 91 years, Sifu.
Mm.
So all that time, even though I had no contact the last, I don't know how many years of her life, and I created a new normal for me. When someone's been victimized even one time, let alone repetitively, let alone in trafficking, there are two things they want: the predator to be dead, or the predator to be locked up for life with no cherries, no TV, no early release, no special considerations, even if it's solitary confinement. Because look at the loss on the victim side: their innocence, their trust, their inability sometimes to even work regularly or to participate in community because they carry the weight of what has happened to them. And without counseling or intercession or knowing God, having faith at some point in that journey of healing, it's devastating. And we wonder why the suicide rate's up. We wonder why people are alcoholics or addicted to drugs. Well, do we know what really happened in their life? So I was excited, especially it was the new year, and it was like, oh my gosh, finally, that person will never, ever show up in my life again, right? And then I thought she was the last one, but then the last familial predator, my birth brother, who tried to smother me and kill me and do all these kinds of things, he just died 10 months ago, officially, finally. So now I started this year like, wow, I have never felt that happy on a cellular level.
Wow.
Because no more monsters can ever show up in my life. And I have a great life. I have a great husband, great marriage, great friends, all of that. But there's always that, what if they show up, right? Think of people who are divorced. How many of them really want to see their ex show up on their doorstep? Right? But this is much more serious. It's that trauma, because PTSD is real. It's not just for veterans, although we hear it associated that way.
Right.
But everyone who's been traumatized has some level of it. Some cope better with it, some don't. But I didn't even start talking about it till I was in my 60s. So, it's a disorder that can't be cured, but it can certainly be managed in a new normal.
You kept it private for so long. What was the stirring inside of you that said, I will no longer be silent? I will be a voice in this fight against trafficking.
I think that, probably started when I was 19 and I was in a debate class in college. And I had a huge speech impediment my whole life until college, and somehow it just worked itself out. But I knew that if I could just speak, I wanted so badly as a child, as a teen, as a college student, to be heard, for someone to recognize, one, I existed, two, I had something to say. And I think there's that small part of me, Sifu, that wanted to show that I wasn't all the things that I had been called in my life. I wasn't all the things that people told me I was. I was a mistake that couldn't be returned. I was stupid. No one would ever want to marry me because I was too disgusting. All those things that were there. I just knew I had something to say, and I just had to figure out how to do it and how to make people want to listen to me, because if I could touch their hearts, then I could teach their minds, right?
Ooh, yes.
And that's what I wanted to do.
And a lot of times when you touch somebody's heart, you actually are touching their mind, because it makes them think, right? So there is so much that you're sharing with us, and so much of it is very private, but you decided, I can't be private. If I'm going to make a difference in this world,
Absolutely.
I cannot be private anymore.
And I can't think of all those other people out there that maybe if they did know they could get through it, that they could be helped. How selfish would that be of me? And I think because when I was 5, the second part of what happened was, after I heard that voice, I said, if you keep me alive, I'll do whatever you call me to do. Now, that's an interesting term, because calling is much different than I'll do whatever you want me to do, right? Well, what if I don't want to do it today? But a calling is like a mantle. It is like put on you, and
Mm.
it's like you're chosen almost. And I didn't understand that obviously at 5. I was just trying to live to the next day, possibly. And but that's what it became. It was a calling. When I did the work, I had 3 years of therapy every week, including 2 months in a residential uh, type center for people that had dissociative disorders, like I did, just
Mm.
separated the emotions from the, intellectual, all of that. And I volunteered for that, which was a very difficult and challenging thing, because I was in with cutters, I was in with people that had multiple personalities, all that kind of stuff. But I had compassion for that. And I thought, if I can do this, if I can get to the other side and make it, then I can maybe help people like that before they get that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's what it was. And I didn't have a lot of money. I made a lot of money for other people, but I didn't have a lot of money. But I knew that, God would find a way to use that mess in my life.
Mm. Mm. So let's talk about the a couple of things that really spark for us, right? So in your book, and it's based on real stories. It's not made up stories,
No, no.
from real people who've gone through some struggles, who've, because they understood that their voice mattered, decided to come out of hiding, if you will,
Yes.
of hiding, coming out of shame, coming out of guilt, and they share their real stories.
Oh my
Let's talk
goodness.
about
Yes.
that.
I am so proud, especially of 2 of the men that had stepped forward
Mm.
to write about their experiences and what they're doing to serve, community and in their life. But one was foster care system, one was organic family, but that took so much courage. And I was so honored that they would give that story to me to
Mm.
share with others, because they too want to help.
Yeah.
Maybe that guy out there that, well, it doesn't matter, it's just, da, 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 guy thing. but it does matter. And it's, I think, a little more difficult for men, because
Mm.
culturally, we're they're not supposed to be weak. They're not
Yeah.
supposed to be seen as weak. And a lot of times, a few of the boys that we rescued, even though the girls outnumbered them, but the boys that would come, they didn't want anyone to know what happened. They didn't know how to express that what happened to them was so deep and so intimate, because they weren't really connected to those emotions, right? They're just, give me food, give me a bed, give me a job, and I'll be gone. They don't
Right.
have to deal with that,
Mm.
And it
Mm.
is very hard for them to say, because I thought that I was too stupid to protect myself as a 5-year-old. I thought I was all these things that I wasn't, because I didn't know how to defend myself
Mm.
and how to get help. And a lot of younger people, when they're hurt that way, feel that way.
Well, I got to tell you, it took so much courage for you not only to come out and speak about it, but to write a book, to inspire other people to share their stories in the book.
Mhm.
That is such a, I'm going to say forward thinking. I'm going to
Well,
say
thank
that.
you. I feel I go backwards sometimes, but thank you. These people were truly selected. I mean, I think God had a major purpose for all of them. For the very intellectual, there are a couple of chapters that really dig into what the issues are, the platforms beneath the trafficking situation, what we can do. There's the aha moment one of our members had while she was in the airport, watching a man that didn't fit with the child, the toddler he had in his arms, and how we were able to open up a case to find out if he was in fact trafficking this baby.
Mm.
And so there's that. And then we have a chapter that I wrote on PTSD, I'm creating a new normal. And then there's some other chapters in there that really give that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get emotional. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Turning.
I'm just gonna interrupt you for a second. How can you not get emotional? How can somebody listening not feel some depth, some pain for someone else, even if they haven't gone through it, right?
I know these people were so brave, Sifu, and even if they weren't trafficked themselves, they had the courage, like in Mary Bodden with Dance Awareness, No Child Exploited, the whole dance industry, everything that it was supposed to be and what it becomes, when it's contaminated, with predators. And we see that all the time. And this book, I haven't really shared this with anyone, but when this book was coming together a couple of years ago, because we've had 3 books in 6 years, and first one was a little bit about my story and 4 stories of kids we had rescued, and then the second one was kind of our entry into collective voices. But this one, the third one, something just was different about it. But I had a tremendously traumatic accident, which almost cost me my foot, and they put the ankle back together, put the foot back together. And I was trying to get this book done, and I didn't just have the right stories yet. I didn't have the right people yet. And through what seemed like a very arduous process, the truth came in, the hope came in. And by the time it was ready to get published, first time with Morgan James Publishing, they took it and they were like, we want this. We want to do something with this.
Wow.
And put it out there. And so, they designed the cover. They have given me nothing but support, which is great, because a lot of us authors, we either self-publish or we just want to get our messages out there. We're not really concerned about, $1 million advance or whatever that is. I don't think that happens anymore unless you're John Grisham or somebody, but we want the truth to get out there. And so when this was released just almost 7 weeks ago, it went international bestseller in 2 days. And I believe it's because people are wanting the truth. They want information, but they also don't want to just have all the gory details out there without a path to knowledge, to prevention, education.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how the book came in. And when it came out, it was really I felt so empowered, I think is the word I'm looking for, because I knew that collectively we are much stronger than just one voice. My voice might have started it, but we are a movement now. See, some of that at our recent, event, but we are like marching on Washington without actually having to put our tennis shoes on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's phenomenal that you're doing what you're doing, because if one person speaks up, they're helping so many. And one of the things about your book is it has insight into perspectives from all over the world, because this is not a one area that happens. It happens. It's international. It happens in every country. Doesn't matter the language. Doesn't matter the color. It doesn't matter the person or how they grew up. What really matters is that it's happening and we need to stop it.
Absolutely. And together we can take a big bite out of the elephant. We may never get rid of human depravity, but what we can do is limit it. And that's what we're going for, is let's turn the tide in favor of the victims, instead of the predators. We made it so easy, whether it's open borders, whether it's lack of enforcement on laws that are already on the books, and in the US anyway. And in other countries, they don't even have a legal system in some cases. So it actually rises to the place of genocide, because there are so many deaths from this kind of thing. And so we right now today can put those helplines and hotlines that are in the back of the book that we provide and on our website at voicesagainsttrafficking.com in our phones right now today. So this way, if we see something, we can say something safely. You're not ratting anybody out. You're just going to call and let people know, hey, I saw this and I really have this feeling that there's something wrong, or I got this license plate, or whatever it is. And the person on the other line will help you no matter where you live in the United States. So we want to give you the tools to speak confidently.
Absolutely. So the book has information to help everybody stay informed, right? And people are saying, what book are you talking about? Well, right now, in case you tuning in at this moment is Voices Against Trafficking. And here's the whole thing. Andy wrote this book not to become famous.
Mm-mm.
She wrote this book because it needs to be out there. The Voices Against Trafficking is such a great movement. And it's not because it's going to make someone shine. It's going to actually shine the light on those perpetrators who are
Mhm.
doing the wrong thing to our children, to our youngsters. You talked about earlier, which really, I'm gonna be super honest with you. It bothered me when you said the product. I said
Mhm.
product. Wow, humans are being seen as product.
That's
Which one
right.
is going to give me more money? Which one is no longer serving me? Get rid of that, like a piece of material, an object.
Yes,
That
exactly.
bothered me. I'm sorry to say. That's how I felt when you said it before.
Oh, don't apologize. I'm glad it impacted you because I hope it impacts everyone else because that's what I felt like yesterday's garbage most of my all my childhood, my
Mm,
teenage years, and most of my early adulthood because that's what I was. That's what I was treated like. And you're imprisoned. And just because you go to school doesn't mean you're free, doesn't mean you can tell people what's going on because of the fear and the control, mind control, and things that predators use. But they do. They see you as a product. A friend of mine, she told me, she said, Andy, I can't believe it, but my friend so and so, who's almost 40, she got grabbed out of as she was exiting a big box store and almost got trafficked. And
mm.
so it can happen at any age, but yes, the average age of a trafficking victim is about 10 to 14, but it can start as early as 6 months.
Wow. And you were trafficked at 6 months.
Mhm.
I can't even fathom that, Andy.
It's that alone. And when I started speaking, I would tell people there are two things that drive trafficking: greed and perversity. Some
Mm,
people are just that evil, seafood.
yeah.
They're just that sick. And they didn't know about making money off of it. They just
Mhm.
did it, you know.
So when we think about inspiration for how important your voice is so inspirational to me. And every time that we've had a chance to chat, you, you're 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 the sunshine. You
Yeah.
really are. You have this great aura about you, and this is from somebody who suffered for so long, who tried to take her own life. What, 3 times?
Hmm.
Wow.
And all
But you
three
see
were.
the light. You see the light, and you see the light in others, and that's such a beautiful gift that you have.
Oh, thank you. I do. Every human being has something.
Mhm.
They just don't know it a lot of times. And because of hurt and pain and anger and bitterness, and if we can move that, that's why healing, that's why my faith, that's why, my amazing husband, my amazing friends, my world is huge. But the one thing that matters is that I was able, one, to forgive, to let go. Because when you release your hand, you can receive blessings and receive healing and all of that. But if you keep it clenched up, you can't get anything in there. There's no room, right? So
Mhm.
by being able to release it, and it is not an easy journey. I'm not trying to make this sound like, oh, it was a piece of cake for her. No, it was
Right.
not. It was hideous. It was like going through HE double toothpicks twice. Okay. Only
Wow.
this time I was super conscious of everything. The identities had to be sorted out, the people, all of the flashbacks, the memories, all of that. And then think about someone who's been hurt that way. How easy is it for them to have a relationship? How
Mm.
do you trust? That's another miracle, really.
Right.
And how do you have that healthy relationship? So
Mm.
all of that took a lot of work, but if someone's willing to do the work, they will get to the end of that tunnel and have the light that I have.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just speechless. I really am. I really am. And so I just put something here. The best thing that anybody can do is donate against trafficking, right? Donate to help the cause. And the first step you can do is pick up the book. Pick up the book, Voices Against Trafficking. It's right there. Here's the QR code. Click on the take out your smartphone. Don't be dumb with your smartphone. Be smart and take it out and use it, right? Buy the book, connect with Andy. You have so many resources on your site, don't you?
We do. We have multiple books. We have the Voices of Courage magazine, 3 special edition issues out there. And we also have a CD called Broken Treasures, the inspiration album for people that love music. 6 or 7 genres on there, all positive messaging, whether it's coming out of the dark into the light, or, adversity, or, hey, don't listen to the lies the world tells you, keep
Right.
moving. Everything is very
Mm.
positive. So someone's a music person, they can get the message and still be part of Voices Against Trafficking. All of that goes to what we do. And think about it, Sifu, what can you get for $20 that will be generationally positively impacting? Well, when they buy a book or a CD for that, it does impact somebody directly that we are hands-on with, whether it's in your neighborhood, my neighborhood, the states, in Uganda or Pakistan or wherever, Mexico. We are actually helping a human being get back into community as successfully as possible and to get the things they need with those donations.
It's and it doesn't matter where in the world you're watching this show. It's happening in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not paying attention, it's happening right under your own nose. So it's a matter of being attentive. Look at your neighbors, not judging, but more of being a neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Be concerned. Say hi to them. Communicate with your neighbors, because sometimes just a voice, and even a child listening to your voice may go, wow, I can trust that person. Let me go say something, because they may have been
Exactly.
afraid to say something, right?
Exactly. How many kids play out in the street or in the yards or whatever, and parents are busy. There's no blame on that. But what there is, hey, even if I don't have kids, I can still be a watchful eye. I can still see, how come that car keeps driving around our block? Or, how come that guy I haven't seen before is, kind of looking at that house or where the kids are. So we can be our own neighborhood watch,
Yes.
even as one person.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have to watch out for the children, making sure that they're safe. It's just like if you see a kid running into the street, you'll stop it. But sometimes trafficking is not that evident. It's not that
Yeah.
clear, right?
And the predators are very, very good if they've been at it a while, the larger rings. And right now we have 1 million predators a day looking for human product, Sifu.
Wow.
They look at us like Amazon for people, just shopping
Mm.
cart. Okay, who can I get? Who's vulnerable? Who's
Oh,
telling me they're lonely? Who's telling me they wish they had a friend, right? Or who's telling me they've been bullied and need somebody to protect them? So we're all humans in this world. And we should want to make sure that the human down the road, across the street, in that grocery store, whatever it is also able to have the same rights protected that we have. And it's not ratting anyone out to say, look, that was wrong, or that, you shouldn't be doing that to your kid, or whatever it is. So we would like to help you communicate and have conversations with your children and your family. And they can do that by contacting us through voicesagainsttrafficking.com. We have all kinds of options.
yeah. Let's talk about the music part. That's so cool, because sometimes people can connect with music. Music makes us move, and if we can move towards making a change, right?
Absolutely. And music affects a different part of our brain. It touches our soul, touches our heart. We can kind of move, groove, bebop, whatever it is that we want to do. And like I said, there are 15 original songs
Wow.
on this album by touring artists, by classical musicians, orchestra. We have something that's like a movie theme. Even it should be a movie theme soon, but we have all kinds of genres, because we want people to hear, to listen, and if it touches them in some way, maybe that will be what it takes for them to say, I really like that this Voices Against Trafficking put this out. We just had DJs Against trafficking music marathon this past Saturday. And
Mm.
wow, all over the world, people were chatting and getting information from our panel discussions. And we brought in so many people to talk about this from all over the world. I think the DJ started in Thailand, went to Romania, Africa,
Wow.
Paris, France, the US. I can't even think of all the places that we had DJs from, but it was incredible. So we are trying to bring every creative tool that we can think of to reach you, the audience, so that hopefully you will say, okay, I get it. I need to do something. Let me think about what I could do.
Mm.
Maybe you're an aunt or an uncle and you have some time in the afternoon. Well, just go walk around the school playground and just, let the lazy predator know somebody's watching, right? Just walk
Yeah,
around, make
yeah.
sure everybody's okay, or
Mm.
vacation Bible school, or whatever your social circle is. And especially now, as holidays approach, Sifu, the big box stores are prime areas for kids to be
Really?
matched.
Wow. Wow.
Don't let your child go to I know that 10-year-olds can go to the restroom by themselves at home, but in a big box store, it takes a
Mm.
predator 3 seconds to pick up an 80-pound kid and grab him.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 seconds. I can't even
Wow.
move that fast. But somebody who is looking for what they want.
Mm.
And I think it was earlier this year, could be wrong on the timing, but I'm pretty sure it was earlier this year. There was the news talked about 11 kids, all under the age of 12, that were
Mm.
rescued from a container, and
Wow.
they had all been snatched from 3 different big box stores.
My goodness. See,
So, yeah.
I think that one of the tools that parents should definitely do is pick up your book because
Yes.
it gives them ideas on how to make sure their kids are not trafficked.
Mhm.
I think one of the things is education is number one.
Yes.
Everybody who's a parent, you can prevent it from happening to your own child if you are proactive. When you say, "Oh, it's not gonna happen in my neighborhood. It's not gonna happen to my child,"
That's
you're walking
dangerous.
around with a blindfold, aren't you?
Absolutely. And you do not want to get tripped up on this, because I've seen the devastations of families that have
Mm.
lost their child or almost lost their teenager, to this. And we just need to be a little more diligent and recognize that all of us, no matter what age or stage we're at, are valuable and we have worth. So our website and the book, as you said, that is going to be tremendously helpful. We want to help anyone who's interested get education, find out how to, prevent that in your family, because we are all one global family.
So pick up your book, people. This is how we do it. This is how we start. And if you think this is all I need to do, then that's all you need to do. This
Mhm.
is your first step. You can never finish a marathon without that first step.
That's right. And if you want to go further, buy one for the principal of your kid's school. Buy
Ooh,
one for the leader of your church or social group, talk about it in Rotary Club, Kiwanis, all those places. Hey, you guys need to just have a copy of this book. I don't care if you pass it around. As Sifu said, somebody asked me, well, I bet you're getting great. I said, I don't even know what the royalties are. I don't really care. I just want the
right.
book out there because I want people to know. The more people to know, the easier it is for all of us to get this done. But yeah, buy an
Mm,
extra copy. And right now with the holidays is a good time for people to get that book.
right, right. And it's it makes you think. And you want to have something in your library that makes you think, that makes you understand that we're in this together. We can't just turn the other way and hope it doesn't happen in our
Mhm.
neighborhood because we are lying to ourselves. So pick up your copy today. Hoy in Spanish, hoy. Compre tu copia
See,
hoy. No molestes, pero coja la copia hoy. And what I said is don't mess around, pick up your copy today.
I got the last part. I was a little rusty on the first part. I love it though. That's great. Well, I just want, listeners to know we love you so much. We really do, that we want you to be protected. And talking to your kids is not policing them, it's protecting them. But sometimes we have to know how to start that conversation. And there are a couple chapters in there that would help do that, along with our support system. So know that there is hope to this and you can be part of that. But as Sifu said, take the first step and make sure you share what you learn with at least one other person.
Yeah, I love the idea of gifting it to a community leader.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you know the mayor in your town, buy it for the mayor.
Exactly.
Yeah. When was the last time you gave a gift to the mayor? Come on, people. When was the last time you gave a gift to a politician? Usually you're trying to run away from them, but go ahead and give them something so maybe they can start talking about the value that they're going to find in this book and the
Mm-hmm.
value that they can bring to their community just by speaking on it. If we had more politicians
Mm-hmm.
on the same page, more things would be done.
Absolutely, because they're very focused on certain things, but yet this has not become that national mantra. Hey, human trafficking is wrong. Period.
Yeah, right.
Has nothing to do with politics, religion, anything like that. It is just plain wrong. And this country is better than that. America is better than that. We should know better. And we should not be the nation known for, hey, we have one of the highest demands for this stuff.
Right.
That is really horrible, because that's not why we're Americans. So, that, like you said, that book is a starting place, and it's a great place to make sure that somebody else knows about it. And with the politicians, one other note, I encourage people, if you're going to vote for someone, find out what they've done to make sure your kids are protected in your community. If they haven't done anything, or they start doing it after they announce their candidacy, then you may want to decide a little differently, but make them prove that they are trying to keep your community safe, not only to prevent the trafficking, but to be open to receiving victims and survivors in a way that they feel safe, so that they can heal. And if they can't show you that they care about this issue, then I wouldn't vote for them. I wouldn't give them money. And that's what I tell people, because sometimes that's the only tool you have.
Yeah, yeah. There is power in voices.
Yes, absolutely. Have a town hall. We can do virtual town halls all day long. I can bring experts in. If you can set it up, we'll be there.
Ooh, I love that.
Mhm.
And so much information in the book, so much information on the website. We are over time,
Oh
but
my
I got to
goodness.
tell you, it flies when I talk to you. I mean, I love the energy. Like I said before, um, I am so happy that you did not act out on those impulses to take your own life, and God guided you
Mhm.
to be here even today with me. I
Yeah.
am blessed to know you. You are my sister. What can I say, right? I love you to death, and actually I should say, somebody corrected me the other day. Said I love you to death, and they're like, don't say I love you to life, because we
Oh, I
don't want
like
you
that.
dead. We
I
don't
love
want you
your
dead.
life, bro.
Love you for life. So thank you, and share 30 seconds, 45 seconds why somebody should need to go to the website.
Go to the website, because you will meet a lot of the major people that are involved in our organization, but also helplines and hotlines. Put those in your phone today. All of the things that we offer, books, magazines, CD, it's all on there. There's more information. So check out voicesagainsttrafficking.com. Yeah, you can be a member. You can join. It's free. It's just basically saying, yeah, I want to be one of the voices that's against trafficking. And it just gives us the legal way to say, yes, Jane Doe sent us an email saying, I want to be a voice. So we're okay. We're building a roster. We want 1 million names. So if you guys can go tell 10 of your friends right now and get them to tell 10, we're going to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to tell you, Andy, I'm having an event in about 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and I know you were going to come, but you can't because things are happening. And I know you send me a little flyer.
Mhm.
I'm going to put it out there right now. Can you send me a bunch of them so that I can
Absolutely.
hand it? I'm going to hand it to every person that comes in.
Oh, thank you so much. I absolutely will. They will go out today or tomorrow latest for sure.
Okay, I'll tell you how many.
Okay. Yeah. Just tell me how many I'll get it done.
A
I
bunch.
love it.
You know what? If you get me 100, I will distribute 100.
Perfect.
Easy. Okay. I will make sure that because I do teach at a martial arts school, and why should I not hand it
Oh,
to the martial
yeah.
arts parents, right?
I'll make sure you're stocked and supplied since you're the new PR director for the book. I love it.
It'll
Thank
be
you.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
Listen,
Voice of courage in action.
we said that everybody who is part of this is a volunteer. So yes, I am volunteering to do anything I can in my power to help with the voice that I have, that God has given me, to make sure that we stop this nonsense and we
Wow.
stop
Thank
trafficking.
you. Yes. You are doing the best thing ever as someone in media. If we had more media like you doing this, we would be further along. So thank you. And thank you to your audiences. I appreciate you so much. May God bless all of you, no matter where you are, where you live. Be a voice of courage.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, don't go away, but everybody have an incredible, incredible rest of your Monday. Happy Monday. And if you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay and give us your ideas, your concepts, your takeaways. And do me a favor. This is a big ask. Share this with someone. Share
Mhm.
it with somebody in politics. Share it with your principal. Share this show with somebody who needs to understand that this is not a small voice. This is a big cry for help
Mhm.
from Andy, from myself, and from every victim in the world, that we cannot stand alone. Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed day. Thank you for watching Author's Tales. Stay updated and meet new authors. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sifu Raphael TV. Follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn, and visit our website. Your support means the world to us.